I played the role of Gu Baobao's fiancé, taking care of her for a whole year. Her eyes are almost recovered. Take your money and get lost. The female secretary's voice was cold and emotionless. I retorted sharply and disappeared. Only later did I find out that Gu Baobao was frantically searching for me. Her starry eyes filled with tears. I must have your name printed on my family register. Me, a nobody with bleached hair, how could I possibly deserve this? I've already paid the last installment of your mother's medical bills. President Gu's eyes, barring any accidents, will fully recover in half a month. You can leave now. The female secretary, Yu Xin, looked at me as she spoke, her eyes filled with contempt and disdain. Through the floor-to-ceiling window, I looked at Gu Baobao's stunningly beautiful face in the living room, a pang of reluctance rising in my heart. Yet, the gap between our realities was starkly apparent. I quickly suppressed that feeling of reluctance. I gave a faint smile, my face sincere. Thank you, Secretary Yu. Yu Xin looked at me mockingly, sneering, remember our agreement. Disappear from Jinghai City, don't come back for half a year. Get lost. Half a year. I understood the significance of this time frame, because in half a year, Gu Baobao and Yi Huaiji were getting married. My face twitched, and I said grimly, shut up. This was a fair transaction. We owe each other nothing. If you can't control your spitefulness, I don't mind slapping you a few times. See how you like it. Yu Xin pointed at me, too angry to speak. I didn't linger on thoughts of Gu Baobao any longer and left without looking back. Although my words were harsh, I still felt grateful towards Yu Xin. Otherwise, someone like me, a delivery guy, could never have earned enough in a lifetime to pay for my mother's exorbitant medical expenses. Because I delivered food to Yu Xin once, she heard my voice, stopped me, and asked if I was willing to be a stand-in. At that time, my mother's medical bills were suffocating me. I quickly stated my conditions, never expecting her to agree immediately. Overjoyed, I thumped my chest and promised to complete the task. I never imagined my task would be to pose as the fiancé of the new business magnate, Gu Baobao, and take care of her daily life. Because she had gone blind, and my goal was to offer her every tenderness. In her eyes, I was her fiancé, Yi Huaiji. The reason I was chosen was that my voice was almost identical to Yi Huaiji's. It took me a year for her to go from resisting me to accepting me, then becoming attached. During this process, a nanny monitored me constantly, ensuring I never crossed any lines. What I didn't notice was Gu Baobao facing the direction I disappeared, anxious and lost. I took my mother and returned to our hometown. Her health gradually improved, and I finally breathed a sigh of relief. I stopped working as a delivery driver and instead set up a small food stall at the local night market, selling clam vermicelli soup. The recipe, bought for a few yuan from Pinduoduo, tasted surprisingly good. Business was decent, much better than delivering food. 6 months passed in the blink of an eye. I gradually settled down, getting used to my current life. And Gu Baobao's name had long been hidden in the deepest corner of my mind, untouched. Have you heard? This land, the night market area, is going to be expropriated. Yeah, I heard a company from Jinghai is going to develop an amusement park here. Ah, damn it. Our good business is definitely going down the drain. The night market vendors were discussing it heatedly, and I started to worry too. Having just settled down, the last thing I wanted was upheaval. Although my mother's health was much better, she still needed medication to maintain it, so money was essential. But for a small fry like me, I was completely powerless regarding such major events. All I could do was take it one step at a time and hope things would work out. 7 days later, a group of people, accompanied by relevant officials, visited the night market. My business was booming, and I was incredibly busy. It wasn't until the group walked up to my stall that I noticed them. I abruptly lifted my head, looking at the stunning woman before me. Bright eyes, pearly teeth, a tall figure. Shock filled my eyes, and my heart couldn't help but race. Gu Baobao. At this moment, her aura was chilly yet captivating. Surrounded by the crowd, her charm seemed infinite. Her eyes met mine, and I hastily lowered my head, afraid she would recognize me. Then I inwardly chuckled. She had been blind back then. She had never actually seen me. I suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. Boss, Add an order of grilled clams. Mild spice is fine. All right, I responded in a strained, high-pitched voice. The customer chuckled in surprise. I calmed myself and kept busy with my work. But it's always what you fear most that happens. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Gu Baobao walk up to my stall alone. The others seemed to have been shooed away by her. I tensed up again, keeping my head down and focusing on my work, not daring to look at her. Boss, give me a bowl of clam vermicelli noodles. Add vinegar, no spice, easy on the salt, extra minced garlic. Gu Baobao's voice was, as always, crisp and pleasant to the ear. Her familiar preferences made my body stiffen for a moment. I continued in the high-pitched voice. Oh, okay, customer, please have a seat first. Huh, boss, your voice is a bit strange. I looked up to see Gu Baobao's lips curve into a playful smirk. I pretended to be calm. My voice is always like this. Please excuse me. Gu Baobao blinked her large eyes, murmured, oh, and walked over to an empty table to sit down. After she walked away, I finally let out a sigh of relief. Did she recognize me? Impossible. She's probably married by now, isn't she? At this thought, a chill ran through my heart. After the chill, however, my mood settled. Forget it. So what if she recognized me? We spent a year together, after all. We could be considered friends. I just wouldn't admit it. Here you go, miss, your clam vermicelli noodles. I placed the bowl in front of Gu Baobao. Thank you. By the way, boss, I want to ask you about someone. Gu Baobao's eyes sparkled as she stared straight at me. My heart pounded like thunder. Oh, please go ahead. Gu Baobao. His name is Shun Shun. How could she know my name? Did she investigate me? Did she find out the truth about the time she was blind? I swallowed hard, my pupils shrinking. Why are you looking for him? Gu Baobao narrowed her eyes slightly, saying nonchalantly, oh, to marry him. Hearing her words, I almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Shun Shun was precisely my name. Marry me? Has she gone mad? According to the timeline, she should already be married. I instinctively shook my head like a rattle drum. Don't know him, don't know him. Gu Baobao pouted her lips slightly and nodded. All right then. Thank you, boss. Shun Shun, my dear boy. Hurry up and get your old man a bowl of clam vermicelli noodles. I want it extra spicy. A damn fatso, my childhood friend, appeared out of nowhere, yelling loudly at me. Watching the damn fatso slowly approach, I wanted nothing more than to smash his mouth in. For a moment, I was dumbstruck, staring wide-eyed at Gu Baobao, who stared back at me. Wow, a beauty. Hey, Shun Shun, is she your friend? So pretty. The look I shot him was already murderous. Shut up, I shrieked. The fatso looked at me scornfully. Shun Shun, what the hell? Have you been castrated or something? Why are you talking like a eunuch? I. My lungs were about to explode with rage because of him. That bastard. After tonight, I'll make his life a living hell. I need the restroom. I used it as an excuse to flee. I left and didn't come back. No matter how many times the damn fatso called, I didn't answer. Eventually, I just turned off my phone. I returned home, sighing deeply. My mother was already asleep. I sat in the pitch-dark living room, my thoughts chaotic, my heart filled with a whirlwind of emotions. Gu Baobao's words, find him and marry him, kept echoing in my mind, impossible to shake off. I don't know how much time passed. An unknown number called. I looked at the caller ID. The IP was from Jinghai. Needless to say, that damned fatty sold me out. Acting on instinct, I walked to the balcony, gazing at the charming figure on the street below, filled with an indescribable melancholy. I closed my eyes and, in the end, hung up on her call. She just stood there on the street, listening to the busy tone, looking up at me on the balcony, motionless. Suddenly, my gaze tightened. Not far from Gu Baobao, a drunkard was staggering towards her, head swaying. Damn it! I gritted my teeth, turned, and ran towards the door. I rushed down 3 floors in one breath and charged toward Gu Baobao. Only when I got closer did I realize the man wasn't a drunkard at all. Hands in his pockets, he gave a friendly smile and brushed past Gu Baobao, leaving behind only Gu Baobao, her face blossoming into a smile. I froze, realizing I'd been tricked. She was as clever as ever. Well, since it had come to this, I might as well make things clear. As a man, what was there to fear? Long time no see. I managed to smile. Gu Baobao's beautiful eyes shifted. You can speak normally now? I sighed inwardly, speechless. Seeing my silence, a flicker of disappointment crossed her face. She smiled again and took some money out of her pocket. After you left, I collected the money from those customers for you. Added to mine, it's 118 yuan in total. I don't have your WeChat, so I exchanged it for cash. Here for you. Gu Baobao's fair hands held out the money. I took it silently. Thank you. You're welcome. Aren't you going to invite me up? My mom's asleep. Then walk with me for a bit. Okay. I never thought I'd run into you again. Of course, this isn't Jinghai, so I guess I haven't broken my promise. I finally started talking. Gu Baobao stopped, turned around, her gaze intense. Are you talking about the promise with you, Xin? I looked at her and nodded. Before I fired her, she got a few slaps from me. Gu Baobao's eyes sharpened, as if recalling something unpleasant. I clicked my tongue inwardly. Why? Inside, though, I felt quite vindicated. I never liked that shrewish woman. If it weren't for needing money for my mother's treatment, I would have confronted her head-on long ago. During the year I was her stand-in, she made things incredibly difficult for me, watching me like a hawk, which made me very uncomfortable. One of my fiancé's bed partners. Cheating on me was one thing, but the most important part is she actually drove you away. Firing her was letting her off easy, wasn't it? Gu Baobao's voice was like ice. What? Fiancé's bed partner? I clicked my tongue inwardly again after hearing that. What did that mean? Her fiancé cheated on her. As for driving me away, that was secondary. Even if she hadn't, I would have left on my own. Instantly, I felt like my brain wasn't quite keeping up. But I also understood why she could find me. Yu Xin must have revealed my information to her. She had clearly been blind for a year, yet she seemed to know everything, maybe even more than I did. My home is fitted with countless hidden cameras. After my sight returned, I saw all her dirty little secrets clearly. Gu Baobao said it rather casually. So that's how it was. Then her marriage arrangement with Yi Huaiji was probably off. At the same time, an awkward expression appeared on my face. So, you recognized me the moment you saw me? Gu Baobao gave me an amused sideways glance. What do you think? My face flushed, and I said seriously, Miss Gu, I want to thank you here for giving me the chance to earn money, allowing my mother to get through her difficulties. Gu Baobao looked at me and shook her head. No, it's I who should thank heavens for letting me meet you. Also, can you just call me by my name? The moment she finished speaking, her gaze turned gentle as water. Such direct words stunned me speechless. I never understood why she sought me out. Could it really be like I suspected, that she wanted to marry me? I quickly dismissed the thought. Someone like me, at this age, needs to have some self-awareness. Jinghai, what a nice place. I spent my days there working aimlessly, just drifting. It felt so hard. I'll never go back there in this lifetime. Faced with her direct words, I spoke ambiguously. I knew she would understand. Gu Baobao's face paled, and she pressed her lips together. What? I feel like Jinghai City and I are like two parallel lines, destined never to intersect. I was dressed in cheap street stall clothes. She was in high-end custom fashion. Walking together, we looked like people from completely different worlds. Gu Baobao lowered her head, remaining silent. During my school days, I didn't study, just fooled around. I was what everyone called a delinquent, the kind of detestable loser everyone hated. My mother endured hardship, running a street stall to raise me. It wasn't until her health problems started, I finally woke up and began working seriously. I'm destined to struggle at the bottom of society for the rest of my life. My only hope now is for my mother's health to be good. I ask for nothing else. It was the first time I had ever opened my heart to someone like this. Recalling the past, I felt an indescribable regret. After I finished speaking, a flicker of amusement actually crossed Gu Baobao's eyes. Well, do you want to know about my past? I nodded. I knew nothing about her past. Gu Baobao was just about to speak. Her phone rang. My eyes were sharp. I immediately saw the caller ID, Yi Huaiji. Gu Baobao answered the phone right in front of me without any hesitation. Hello? What? Okay, I'll head back to Jinghai right away. She hurriedly hung up, looking anxious. I have to go. I'll come back to find you. Remember, don't disappear again. When we meet again, I'll tell you about my past. You'll definitely think differently then. I'm not used to you not being around. After saying this, she suddenly hugged me, gave me a light kiss on the lips, then turned and left. My head was buzzing, feeling the lingering softness on my lips. Watching her graceful retreating figure, a flutter arose within me. For a moment, I felt somewhat lost. She said she wasn't used to me not being around. But is this love? I couldn't be sure. Or perhaps she had developed feelings for me over time. But she's a phoenix, and I'm just a stray dog. If we really got together, would it end well? However, life had to go on. I didn't dwell on it obsessively or run away with my mother. Since things had happened, whether good or bad, there would eventually have to be an outcome. The next day, I opened for business as usual. That damned fatty showed up again. I sneered and kicked him 8 times just to vent. The damned fatty asked about this and that, but I refused to answer anything. Finally, he gave up deflated. At 10 p.m., during the evening rush, my phone rang. I picked it up and saw it was my mom calling. It was strange. Usually, she'd be asleep by this time. I answered the phone, and unbelievably, I heard my mom cry on the other end. Xiao Chun at home. At home. Her voice was intermittent, and I could clearly sense her fear. Not only that, but I also heard things falling and the clamor of voices. Instantly, my eyes felt like they were splitting, and I trembled with tension. Mom, don't worry. I'm coming back right now. What happened? The damned fatty, who was helping out, asked with a grave expression. My eyes gleamed fiercely, and I snarled, "Contact all the old brothers. Grab weapons. Everyone head to my place." The damned fatty's face twitched, and he bared his teeth. "Don't worry, Brother Chun. Leave it all to me." I paid him no more attention and rushed out. I rushed home as fast as I could. The front door was wide open, and inside was a chaotic mess. As soon as I entered the house, I saw 2 familiar people. Yi Huaiji was sitting sprawled on the living room sofa, while Yu Xin stood beside him. Upon seeing me, her face filled with hatred. Around them stood 6 tall, burly bodyguards. The house was a complete mess, with many things thrown and broken on the floor. What broke my heart the most was seeing Mom, dressed in her pajamas, standing in a corner silently weeping, her face deathly pale. I rushed over, hugged Mom tightly, and asked anxiously, "Mom, are you okay?" Seeing me, Mom leaned right into my arms. "Xiao Chun, who are they?" My chest hurts a little. As soon as the words left her mouth, she fainted in my arms. My eyes couldn't help but turn bloodshot. You have to understand, she had just had heart surgery. She must have been severely agitated, causing signs of her old condition recurring. Instantly, rage burned within me. I glared fiercely at Yi Huaiji. At that moment, I wanted to kill. But I couldn't act because Mom was still here. I couldn't let her suffer any more agitation. However, before I could speak, Yi Huaiji spoke first. He looked around, sneering incessantly. "With your circumstances, you think you're worthy of Gu Bao Bao. Actually, I came here today with no other intention. Come over here and give me 10 loud kowtows. Then take your sick mother and get lost, far away. Don't ever let Gu Bao Bao see you again for the rest of your life. Or else." As he finished speaking, he cast a sinister glance at my mother in my arms. Good. Very good. My adrenaline was surging, almost uncontrollable. Trash is trash. Scum like you, trying to compete with young Master Yi for a woman? You're destined to be trampled underfoot, never to rise again. Yu Xin was as caustic as ever. I laughed a somewhat crazed laugh. Thump, thump, thump. The sound of footsteps ascending the stairs came from outside. Fatty led the charge, a steel pipe in his hand, bursting in. Chun-gu. Behind him, a crowd of various heights and builds surged in, each brandishing some kind of weapon. Chun-gu, Chun-gu, Chun-gu. The calls rose and fell, one after another. Yi Huaiji and the others turned pale, watching them. Haha, misunderstanding. It's all a misunderstanding. Shin-shun, I just came over today to catch up, nothing else. What just happened was only a joke. Yi Huaiji stood up, looking somewhat constrained. A wise man doesn't fight when the odds are against him. He seemed to understand this saying thoroughly. Although the bodyguards were tough, they couldn't handle the sheer numbers. They retreated, shielding Yi Huaiji and Yu Xin behind them. I smiled faintly. A misunderstanding? Just a joke. My gaze turned chilling, menace unconcealed. Fatty, I'm taking my mom to the hospital first. Before I get back, I don't want to see anyone left standing. Oh, and close the door properly. Don't disturb the neighbors. Yes, Chingu. Fatty chuckled darkly. Holding my mother, I rushed out the door towards the hospital. One brother, come with me. As for the sounds of steel pipes meeting flesh behind me, though pleasing to the ear, I had no time to listen. After reaching the hospital and she was examined, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. The doctor told me Mom was fine, just needed proper rest, and absolutely must not be agitated again. I left Mom in the care of the brother who had come to the hospital with me and immediately rushed back home. As soon as I entered the house, I saw Yi Huaiji and his people lying scattered on the floor. Even Yu Xin hadn't been spared. The worst off was undoubtedly Yi Huaiji. He was lying face down on the floor, his face covered in blood, 2 teeth knocked out beside his mouth. Chingu, everyone called out. I nodded, seeing that although my brothers had taken some hits, none were seriously hurt. I walked over to Yi Huaiji, rubbing my foot on his face. Well, want you to sit up so I can give you 10 more resounding kowtows. Endless humiliation showed on Yi Huaiji's face. Do you know the consequences of offending our Yi family like this? His eyes were filled with hatred. I sneered and pointed to the camera in the corner. I have no way of knowing that, but I do know that if today's footage gets out, you, Yi Huaiji, will never be able to hold your head high in Jinghai City again. Fear flashed in Yi Huaiji's eyes. Are you threatening me? I nodded readily. That's right. I am threatening you. What? You got a problem with that? With that, I kicked him right in the mouth. With a crack, a perfectly good tooth broke off. On your knees. 10 resounding kowtows. You said it. Otherwise, there be no young Master Yi in Jinghai tomorrow. As soon as I finished speaking, one of the brothers brought a chair for me to sit on. Yi Huaiji pressed his head firmly against the ground. Though his hatred soared, circumstances were stronger than him. He felt only shame and despair. In his eyes, I was just some bumpkin from the roadside. And now, being forced to kneel and kowtow to me made him want to kill himself. As for Yu Xin at the side, seeing her trembling body, you could tell she was thoroughly terrified, acting like a turtle hiding in its shell now. Very well. Since you won't kneel, Fatty, bring me a knife. A wicked smile appeared on my face. Fatty rushed into the kitchen and came out with a cleaver. Chop off his left hand first. My voice sounded as if it came from the depths of hell. The next moment, I'll kneel. Woo woo woo. Don't cut off my hand. Yi Huaiji scrambled up and knelt stiffly before me, snot, tears, and blood mixing together disgustingly. Where was the style of Jinghai's young master now? At this moment, his defenses completely crumbled. Hit. The brothers around let out malicious laughter. Everyone had seen scenes like this many times before. Nobody really intended to cut off his hand. It was just to scare him. Normal people couldn't withstand such torment, and Yi Huaiji was no exception. Thump, thump, thump went the kowtows. 10 in a row, clean and decisive, without any hesitation. I nodded in satisfaction, my eyes slightly narrowed. Yi Huaiji, take a good look at my brothers here. If anything happens to even one of them, this video from today will definitely go viral all over Jinghai. Yi Huaiji nodded repeatedly and even offered to write a letter of guarantee, which I naturally allowed him to do. Yi Huaiji and his people left. I also saw off my brothers, expressing my gratitude and saying I'd treat them to food and drinks later. Brother Chun, we're all brothers. Why say things like that? That fight back then, weren't you the one charging at the front, taking knife blows for the brothers? Fatty was a bit unhappy and left, muttering curses. Watching them leave, my eyes filled with tears. Yeah, so what if I used to be a young delinquent? There's a kind of brotherhood that normal people truly can't understand. After they left, I saved all the video footage from today, giving each of the brothers who were present a copy as a protective talisman. But I still felt uneasy. After all, if the Yi family decided to retaliate, it would be no joke. I myself didn't matter much, but my brothers couldn't afford to get into trouble. I picked up my phone, found a missed call from yesterday, and dialed the number. The call connected quickly, and Gu Baobao's happy voice came from the other end. Shun, you were looking for me? Yes, there's something I need to tell you. Go ahead, did you miss me? Gu Baobao asked playfully. I gave a wry smile and recounted what had just happened. Gu Baobao was silent for a long time. Then her voice suddenly sharpened. Don't worry. You and your brothers will be fine. The Yi family are just has-beens in Jinghai. They were planning to marry me, to steal my assets, and return to their peak. But how could I not see through their petty schemes? What they don't know is I've given shares to all those big families in Jinghai City. The Yi family was nothing but a bunch of clowns from beginning to end. I'm really sorry. I truly didn't know. Yi Huaiji tricked me away, but it was actually to deal with you. After hearing this, I nodded inwardly. Gu Baobao's company is an emerging industry with limitless potential. And the core of the company is precisely a young team led by Gu Baobao. Gu Baobao is the brain of the team, indispensable. Even during the years she was blind, she often went to the company to handle technical difficulties. I truly admired her boldness in my heart, giving away company shares to secure her foundation and development. With several major Jinghai families backing her, truly no one could touch her. Worthy of a top student from Tsinghua or Peking University, not someone like me, a poor student, could compare. Give me some time. I'll come find you. Remember our promise, okay? Okay. After hanging up, for some reason, I was filled with anticipation for her arrival. The news of the Yi family's downfall. I saw it on TV. All sorts of tax evasion incidents, including the shady dealings the Yi family conducted in secret, were all exposed. At this moment, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. Guys, we're okay now. At the same time, I understood Gu Baobao would be coming soon. As expected, that evening, Gu Baobao appeared in front of my stall. I'm hungry. Gu Baobao pouted. Please sit down first. I'll make something for you right away. I was all smiles, completely different from the last time I saw her. Seeing this, Gu Baobao couldn't stop smiling. After she finished eating, she stayed with me until I closed the stall. Can you come away with me for 3 days? I want to take you somewhere. Downstairs from my apartment, Gu Baobao suddenly spoke, looking at me, her eyes like stars. I had a guess in my heart and nodded firmly. She was very happy, hugging me and refusing to let go. The next day, I left Mom with Fatty and got into Gu Baobao's car, heading straight west. After a day and a night, Gu Baobao and I stood in a remote, impoverished village. The houses here were dilapidated, and even the utility poles had collapsed. After walking around, we discovered this place was long an abandoned village. Qingshan Village, my hometown. Even though I was somewhat prepared, hearing Gu Baobao's words, I couldn't help but be shocked. Coming from here, her conditions could be said to be worse than mine, yet her current status is completely beyond comparison to mine. The hardships she must have endured are unimaginable. Looking at her again, my eyes couldn't help but show a hint of heartache. Gu Baobao gave a slight smile, pointing to a single-story mud brick house not far away. That was my home. I was raised solely by my grandmother. Her eyelashes trembled slightly, showing her inner turmoil. Because Mom gave birth to me, a daughter, my dad would constantly beat or curse her. Finally, one day, she ran away, but she slipped and fell off a cliff. Hearing this, I sighed inwardly, listening quietly as she recounted her past. Later, my father also died, drank himself to death. That day, I remember it was especially cold. My grandmother didn't give up on me. She said she wanted to send me out of these mountains. She brought me to the city. She often made some rural snacks to sell, and also collected scraps to pay for my education. The year I went to university, as if she had completed her mission, she passed away too. By the end, Gu Baobao was already in tears. My eyes grew red. I took out a tissue and wiped away her tears. Her fists were clenched tightly, her eyes filled with so much unwillingness. I understood her unwillingness. It was the kind of regret stemming from wanting to care for one's parents only to find them gone. Later, my career went very smoothly. Interestingly, the Yi family of Jinghai took a liking to me, wanting me to become their daughter-in-law. Saying this, a look of contempt appeared on Gu Baobao's face. I neither refused nor agreed, but they publicized it widely. Driven by curiosity, I began trying to engage with the circle of so-called upper-class people like the Yi family. However, everything disappointed me. They looked down on ordinary people, considered themselves superior, lived extravagant and chaotic lives, and adhered to decadent rules, completely different from my values. I imagined what it would be like if I became one of them. Heh, my late grandmother's spirit would hate me, and I would hate myself too. Gu Bao Bao turned to look at me, her beautiful eyes gazing intently with unprecedented seriousness. So, do you understand now? We're the ones who belong to the same world. At first, I wasn't sure, but you managed to have so many brothers willing to offend ye family and risk everything for you. Meanwhile, my days at the company are filled with deceit and backstabbing. The husband I want is someone loyal, someone who values relationships, someone who wouldn't backstab me. Likewise, I wouldn't betray him. I admire that kind of Jianghu loyalty, something absent in those upper circles. And that person is you. I want to put your name on my family's household register. Okay. I stared dazedly at Gu Bao Bao, with her bright eyes and pearly teeth. How could I not understand her earnest intentions? She had said so much, all just to resolve my inner conflict. I couldn't hold back any longer. My fervent emotions erupted, and I swept her into my arms, unwilling to let go for a long, long time. We got married and had children. I took care of things at home. She handled matters outside. Life was harmonious beyond imagination. Actually, I don't really believe that what she told me before was right. It's just that Gu Bao Bao happened to be that white lotus emerging unstained from the mud, and I was lucky enough to encounter her.